All right, we got Wide Body Mike, Chuck, and Jose. Jose, we'll get to that question here in a few minutes, man. I started a little early because I started a little late last week. So, hey, Bruce. So I figured I'd start a little early this week. All right, good evening, 803. What's going on, buddy? We're just gonna chill here for a few minutes, and we'll start off with Jose's question, and then we'll work from there. We'll give people another 2 minutes to pop in, and I'll get the yapping my gums, and then we'll turn to the chat and start answering questions. Hopefully, y'all don't make me just yap my gums for an hour. Mike's got a point, right? Builds never really end. Player two, I'll get to that question as well. I'm just gonna yap my gums about where we're at with shake and bake for a few minutes, and then we'll get into some of these questions. All right, Jay. Good job, buddy. I started early just for you. All right, let's get into it. I know I'm still a little bit early, but Jose, build's coming along great. It's going to continue for at least the foreseeable future because we've got lots of plans. Because we got the built motor coming in. Probably going to wind up ramping up the boost a little bit. We've got probably bringing in some more nitrous down the road sometime next year. Possibly water to air intercooler. We got lots of thoughts, lots of plans. Now plans change, so stick with me. Stick with me for that. But the build's going well. We're gonna go ahead and fix that boost leak. If y'all watched the last video, we're gonna go ahead and fix that boost leak. And if things are nice out and the weather holds out, we're gonna try and go to MIR this weekend, and then the last weekend. This is the next to last weekend, Sunday, for at least MIR anyway. The next to last weekend, they're gonna do one more weekend, and then MIR is gonna close down. So that's the plan for Shake and Bake. Get her fixed, get down to the track, and do some more racing, and then, like I said, eventually, probably January, February time frame, we'll get into swapping the engines. Yes, we're gonna get videos of tearing down the current engine to see what's all going on inside Shake and Bake, because I'm sure there's probably quite a bit going on, quite a bit we don't know what's going on in there. But we're gonna find out when we tear down Shake and Bake's engine, and I'm gonna give you guys all the skinny, no holding back. You know me, you get 100% Dawn, 100% of the time. And I'm not going to pull no punches. I'll let you know, hey, this happened, that happened, whatever the case may be. So there's going to be a couple videos on that, a couple videos of putting the forged engine in, and then hopefully right around the beginning of March, we're ready to be back up and running. All right, so that's where we're at with the build, and that's where we're going with a lot of things coming next year. Any thoughts? Okay, player two, on to you. Comp HRT Stage 2 cam. Mike does like the MMX Max Effort cams. He's got one in his car. It works extremely well. I've seen some videos of the comp cam, the HRT series from comp cams make pretty good power. Um, it's in these stages, right? So there's no real straight definition of stage one, stage two, amongst all the manufacturers. So the stages are kind of somewhat of a misnomer. I know B Mason did a video or talked about it on one of his live chats on what the different stages mean. In generality, what those stages tend to mean, but it doesn't necessarily mean each company holds to that definition. But like I said, yeah, you can't necessarily go wrong. A bigger, better cam is a bigger, better cam. I know Mike's probably gonna beat me up here in a minute, but this is just Don's simplistic view. It boils down to what you want out of the cam. Is it primarily sound? Is it primarily performance? Is it a little bit of both? My suggestion is, instead of going with an off-the-shelf cam, talk to comp cams, talk to MMX, talk to HHP, talk to whoever you're going to buy this cam from, and let them know what you want from that cam. Hey, I want a super lopey. I don't give a crap about performance. I want it super lopey. I want a bunch of chop, and I just want it to sound good. They'll build you a cam for that. They'll spec one out for you. You tell them, hey, I want the max effort MMX. I want a max effort cam, and this is my setup. They'll spec you out a cam to meet your needs. So that's my suggestion, player two, is talk to one of the folks that builds these cams, and just tell them what you want, and let them tell you what stage you need, or what kind of cam you need. Mike's talking about the build never ends. That's correct. And Jay, yes, you did make it. Thanks, Marco. I appreciate that, man. I'm not out here to be an idol. I'm not out here. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a mechanic. I've said this a million times. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a tuner. I'm just average Joe, building his car and just documenting it on YouTube. And yes, I am a huge fan of the 5.7. The guys in the chat will tell you. They beat me up consistently. I should have either stroked out the forged engine, or went with a 392 BGE and just built that. Yeah, there's no replacement for displacement. 100% got it. But I love the 5.7 platform. Could I get more views if I went to a 392, or if I swapped the Hellcat motor in? All of that stuff, probably. But I'm not in this to be for YouTube to be my daily job. This is just me documenting what I'm doing and showing you guys what I'm doing. So yeah, Idol, King of the 5.7. I love you guys. You can call it what you want. You can call me what you want. But that's, like I said, this is just me documenting what I'm doing. So folks know, hey, this modification could bring you this. But remember, every build is different. Every engine is different. Even though they're all 5.7s, they have their nitnoid differences. And you might not, even if you followed my build 100% down the line, you may not get the gains that I've got. You may get the gains I've got. You may get better gains than what I've got. It's just somewhat of a shot in the dark. Anyway, but I appreciate it, Marco. I really do. All right. Mike, yep, saying to check out MMX's cams. Jay's happy he found the chat. Yeah, he sure enough did. That diff is gone bye-bye. The diff has left the chat. Mike said, you ain't seen his other post. Oh, you got that right. Jose, I'm telling you, I'm trying. But Wide Body Mike has said this. Jay has said this. I've said it multiple times. When you get to this power level, things are gonna happen. Things are gonna break. You're gonna have to fix them and then get back out to the track. So that's where I'm at now. I got to get this boost leak fixed, which I'm not 100% sure is a boost leak, but we're gonna get this thing fixed. Get it back on the track. Hopefully this weekend if the weather holds out. And you know the deal. Gonna be shooting for that 9, 100%. All right, 803 and Mike going back and forth here. Check your DM. Oh, Jay, I didn't know you had the HRT Stage 2. That's awesome. There you go, player 2. Some no kidding. Someone that has that cam feedback. You can't get better than that. Jay, appreciate you chiming in with the cam, brother. I appreciate it. All right, Marco, 100 shot on the stock car. My opinion. I have no facts. I have no experience, but I wouldn't go much more than 100 shot on a stock engine. Um, I mean, you may be a little bit safer if you're not supercharged as well, but I wouldn't go much more than 100 shot unless you build the engine and unless you do the modifications to support nitrous, which are different than modifications supporting blowers. Um, Two different cars, so just keep that in mind. Here comes Jay with his knowledge of nitrous. Jay's a nitrous guy. He loves nitrous. All right, let me get down. Oh, Chuck, man. Thanks, brother. I definitely appreciate it. Does it matter if I use fuel injector cleaner more than once a year? I run ethanol free 91 and 93 E10 in my Challenger Scat. Yeah, my opinion, I don't, again, I haven't been around long enough, but um, the fuel injector cleaner, I think they've some of them have when you should use them. Uh, yeah, I would say it would not be a problem you use an injector cleaner more than once a year. I would even say once a quarter. Throw a bottle in there and just make sure your injectors are cleaned out. But that's my opinion. Someone else may have a better opinion down here in the chat. So Chuck, keep an eye on the chat. Mike or someone else. Uh-oh. Here I am telling you to use it once a quarter. Mike says it's useless. All right, so Mike, help Chuck out. I appreciate it. But yeah, keep an eye on the chat. I'm sure Mike will help out in with your question. Uh, but yeah. All right, let me go back up here, get to where I was at. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Jace saying, take some timing out if you're using nitrous and a custom tune. Make sure you have that. Obviously, is it possible to be faster by shifting earlier rather than at the rev limit? It seems my torque might run out before the limiter hits. And Bruce, I think you're still NA if I'm not mistaken. Um, I'm going to defer to Mike. I'm not sure if he hits it. It looks like he hits this question down below. But there are times short shifting is good. There are times short shifting is bad. So that's a double-edged question. hopefully Mike will get into it a little bit more down below, Bruce. But yeah, like I said, short shifting in certain situations is good. In other situations, it's okay. In other situations, it's not good at all. It just really depends on the situation. All right, Jay saying chop can be had with tuning. Okay. All right, Marco was thinking of getting forged internals as well when doing so, but I'm kind of debating whether to start putting power or to switch out the rear and make it beefier first. Yeah, that's a chicken and the egg question. Definitely a chicken and the egg question. I went for more power first, and then built the rear end up to support the power. You could easily go the other way. Start at the bottom, start at the rear, and then start adding power. You could really go either way with that. I'm going back to some extremely old videos. These are some oldies. Chop is not wanted. We are Chevy. All right. But Marco, yeah, that's really a chicken and the egg question. It's all in where you want to start. Bruce on the shift. It's all about your power band. All right, Mike, throwing some knowledge on the shifts, Bruce. Hopefully you're reading this down here. Will a Diablo log show where my torque drops? I'm not sure if you'd have to look into the PIDs to see if Diablo can log the torque. Um, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can. Don't quote me on that. I think you can log torque, and then you can figure it out. All right, Jay's going back to Mike. Yeah, see, Mike's saying the same thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Diablo can log torque. Like I said, you'll have to look or call Diablo Sport and ask him, "Hey, is there a way to log torque?" That's the quickest, easiest way. Is just to call Diablo. All right, 803, you're right. MMX does have forged cranks for the 5.7, 100%. I think they were just over $1,000 if I remember correctly, which is not awful. That's it's not a bad price for a forged crank for a 5.7. Yep. So I got a used 6.1 crank in my forged bottom end, but they're out there. $1,000, not. I think it was just over 1,000, something like that. And Mike's coming in. They got the big valve heads too. Yep. Diff has left the chat. Definitely, definitely 803 has definitely left the chat. That's for sure. If I'm gonna tune, I should cam and headers. If I'm doing that, maybe forge, then tune. But wait, then I want boost tune again. I need to win the lottery. That is definitely for sure. Oh wait, I gotta get rid of this video. I I like BMR. They help me out. They replaced the ones I broke, but I can't support. I can't support when I broke two of them. I can't support them if I broke two of them. But Yeah, devil's advocate, you know it, Bruce. Like I said, once you start down the rabbit hole, you can't get back out, and it just keeps getting deeper. Chuck, again, I appreciate it, brother. That's awesome. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for the support, and you know the deal. Every red cent from YouTube goes right back into Shake and Bake. So that'll be going into some of next year's upgrades. This thing's keeps jumping on me. Hemis do love the juice, that's for sure. All right, Mike saying go 150. These guys know a lot more than me. I'm telling you. Between wide body Mike, and Jay, they have a wealth of knowledge. They've been in the Hemi game for a long time. A long time. So what to get to beef up the rear end? 100% the AAD drag pack. Yes, it's going to be expensive. But I'm here to tell you, you cannot go wrong with AAD. Oh God, here I go again, showing BMR's upper and lower control arms. I highly suggest don't go with BMR. And this is just my opinion, and I will always state that this is my opinion. But I would not go with BMR. I would go AAD. Get the billet aluminum stuff, because it is much beefier than the BMR stuff. Really, the BMR stuff it just wasn't cutting the mustard. All right, going back to the cleaners again. Seafoam, yep. There you go, Chuck. So Jay is saying he couldn't get the axles to handle a 150 shot. So there's some more experience coming in, and that's what I've seen. Most people stick around 100 or less. So I'd be careful going any further than that. I forget what we were doing here. Oh, I think we were trying to put those control arms on. Yeah, we were screwing this up bad. Maybe I don't want to play this video either. Anyway, you know me, I show the good and bad. Dump half can in the fuel tank annually. There you go, Chuck. So Mike's saying once a year. Yeah, Marco, like I said, again, chicken and the egg, right? You build the rear end to hold big power, then you're overbuilt for the power you're already putting down, but eventually your power is going to catch up. Or it's the other way around. You put the power in now, you're overpowering your rear, and then your rear end catches up. You can go, in my opinion, you can go either way. But thinking about it quickly, probably the smarter way is to put the power you have now to the ground, build up the rear end first, but build it understanding that you're going to add additional power. And again, the rear end, 100% AAD. Don't go with BMR. Chuck, you're welcome, buddy. And again, thanks for the support. I appreciate that. Get rag axles are weak. That's Mike coming in. All right, thanks, Marco. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. You guys don't know when I get these comments and stuff, I always say I appreciate it, and every YouTuber says that, right? But I'm telling you, I really appreciate it, and I still get starstruck's not probably not the word, but when people it just come up to me at the track. It's still a little funny for me when people do it. I love it when people do it. Don't get me wrong. If you see me at the track, feel free, come up, talk to me. I love it. It just it's just a little weird. It's hard to believe. I am somewhat of an introvert. Uh, I know I don't sound that way on camera, but off camera, I'm much more of an introvert than I am on camera. All right, Jay saying the short shifting's never good. You definitely want to stay in the power band. That's for sure. Bruce, I'm always burning up tires, man. I'm burning up tires all the time. And yeah, Marco. So I still have the stock shocks in my car. Um, and mine was a super track pack. So I have the Bilstein shocks, uh, and they're still in there after 100 and almost 130,000 miles. The time's coming to change those too. So we're gonna get some rear end upgrades as well soon. Because again, it's once you get the power, then you got to put it to the ground. Yeah, Jay, I think you proved. I think you proved that you surpassed the limits of a get rag. That's for sure. Mike's talking about gearing. I think he's talking to Jay. All right, Chuck. Should I run the same octane all the time? I switch between 91 and 93 sometimes. As long as I don't run 87 in my scat, should be okay, right? That is true. If you look in, I'm pretty sure if you look in your user manual, because not 93 is not everywhere. 93 is prevalent in some spots and non-existent in others. So I want to say California only goes to 91. I don't think California has 93. I think Utah is another one that only has 91, or very few stations have 93. So uh, you're good running 91 and 93, and you can switch back and forth. Just my opinion. Mike may say something down. Mike may say something down below, but I think you're good switching between 91 and 93. All right, Mike's saying stay on the same octane. I'm telling you, you can switch both back and forth, but Mike's telling you to stay on the same octane. All right, Mike's saying go 89 unless you're modified or tuned for 93. So I take back everything I just said, Chuck, and listen to Mike. So here we go. If I say something in the chat and either Mike or Jay or one of the guys down below come back and contradict what I'm saying, go with what they're saying. Because once I get down there and see that I screwed up and probably told you the wrong thing to do, I'll tell you, hey, I screwed up. Listen to Mike. Mike's telling you what to do. Yeah, they do say 93 is somewhat of an overkill unless you're tuned for it. All right. Jay's talking about his 355 gearing. 91 is ethanol free, and my scat seems to just run smooth, just as smooth on 93. I'm a cheapo sometimes, so running 91 or 93. When I first started driving, when I first bought Shake and Bake, dude, I was running 87. I was the car says it can run on 87. I ran 87. And I ran 87 for a long time until I got to the point where I got tuned on 93, and then I started running 93. Mike, preach it, brother. Plan, plan, plan. I'm telling you, you're going to save yourself in the long run. Figure out your goal, make a plan to meet the goal, figure out the budget to make the plan work. And now, goals change, plans change, budgets change. Got it. But having your initial thoughts down on paper and the ability to look at it and make sense of it all, I'm telling you, it's going to help you in the long run, and it's going to save you money. I promise you, it'll save you money if you make a plan and try and somewhat stick to it, and keep your goal somewhat static until you hit that goal or close to making that goal, and then rework your plan. I guarantee you to save you money. Mike throwing down some knowledge. 370 gear, go 28 tall tire, you'll be close to a 355. So keep in mind when you buy whatever gearing in your rear, right? 309, 370, 390, 309, 262, whatever the case may be. That's just the gearing in the differential. And like Wide Body Mark says, you can change your effective gear ratio, which is the actual gear ratio from your tire diameter and your diff gearing. You can make huge swings in your effective gear ratio just by changing your tire size. So big facts, like Jay says, big facts. So you can. I'm not going to throw any numbers out there, but I'm just saying you can change your effective gear ratio quite a bit by just changing tires. So right, so if you got 262s and you got 20-inch tires and you want to change your gear ratio, you can go 28 tires, you can go 29-inch tires, and change that ratio kind of to where you want it. Now there's obviously limits to the size of tires you can buy, but like I said, you can change that effective gear ratio to what you want it to be. Bruce, does a 5.7 need a forged crank? Thought that connecting rods and pistons were the weak chain. That is correct, but the 5.7 is not a forged crank. It's a steel cast crank, if I'm not mistaken. I got you, Chuck, man. I definitely appreciate it. And now I'm getting off Bruce's topic, but if you're going to do the rods and pistons, do the crank too. You might, while you're already in there, just do the crank as well. You don't want to have to go back in afterwards again, open up the entire engine to put another crank in. That's why I held on to my crank for several months before I could afford the pistons and the rods, and gave Clinton Machine Shop bought all the pistons and rods and all that stuff. I had the crank, but I held on to that until we got all that stuff figured out. But definitely, if you're going rods and pistons, definitely get a forged crank as well. All right, Jay. Go figure. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mike's saying, yeah, you want to do a forged crank. If it, it just it just doesn't make much sense while you're already that deep into the engine. Why not put a forged crank in there as well? Arguably, we're gonna look and see what my crank looks like when we take it out of shake and bake. I think that's gonna make some interesting content when we tear that engine apart. Matter of fact, I was talking to Mike the other day, or it was in the chat. He was like, "We're gonna tear down Shake and Bake's engine. The rods are gonna be bent. The valves are gonna be bent. Everything's gonna be messed up, and we're all gonna be like, how did this car even run?" And that's probably some of that is gonna be true. It's gonna be interesting to see when we tear the current engine down what it actually looks like after the complete thrashing and beating I've done on Shake and Bake for the last 6 years. Yep, Mike throwing some more knowledge, right? I did the same thing. ARP studs and mains, along with billet main caps. I think I got billet main caps. I can't remember. Corpse just finished my car. The last time we talked, I told you I was doing all nitrous 5.7. Came out very good. Haven't done any pulls or anything yet. Working. I haven't had time. How's Shake and Bake doing? Dude, Shake and Bake's she's doing her thing, man. We're getting these little nuances kicking us in the butt, like this boost leak. But Shake and Bake's doing great, man. It's good to see you got your car back. I can't wait. Corpse, you're gonna have to let me know how that all nitrous 5.7 works out for you, man. You definitely piqued my interest. Jay saying, "Yep, do it right the first time, because you don't want to have to do it again." And I think he's talking about getting a forged crank when you do the pistons and rods. It's just it just makes sense while you're that deep in the engine. Just do it all. Mike had 370 gears, 28-inch tires, split the and that was on the street. Yeah, Jay. Jay's been sending diffs out of the chat for a few times now. Yeah, Jay, that 9-inch conversion, no matter what you do, is expensive. Whoa, that's those things are steep. All right, Bruce, you're probably already gone, but thanks for tuning in, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping the chat rolling, asking questions. I love it. Matter of fact, I was talking to really Jay and Mike in our IG chat. Hey, what do y'all think of the open chat and just going through the chat, answering people's questions and the like, and they seem to both like it, and it seems like everyone else likes it. So, like I said, I'm going to continue until if we ever get to the point where I don't have enough content in the chat to keep going for an hour. But it's been a couple months now, and we always have enough to talk about. So we're going to continue. I've said this several times too. We're going to continue until we get to the point where it's not keeping us for an hour, and then we'll do maybe a specific topic talk, and then answer questions in the chat. That went too far. All right, everyone's saying later, Bruce. 93 here in Vermont, but it's not ethanol free. Yeah, unfortunately. But Mike's got a point, right? 10% ethanol is not that bad. It's not going to be that bad on your engine parts, like going E85. And then you're pushing 75 80% ethanol through everything. But again, that's one of those things that's in the plan. If you plan to run E85, then you budget for the right stuff to run E85 to where you don't have to worry about changing lines and injectors and all of that. You buy stuff according to the plan, and if E85 is in the plan, that's what you purchase for. Owner manual says is optimized for 91. I know Mike says 89 won't hurt, but I would go 90. If the manufacturer says it's optimized for 91, me personally, my opinion, I would run 91. Catch can. I am a fan of a catch can. I'm a fan of a catch can because my catch can catches a lot. Not really a lot, but I think I change it. When do I empty mine in the middle of every oil change, give or take, and it's not necessarily full, but it's not empty either. Yeah, a lot of states don't have 93. Ethanol does keep things clean. It is a cleanser. Chuck, you're fully on gas tonight, buddy. It's all good, man. That's why I love this open forum where we can go down and we can talk about things. Yeah, if you haven't looked on Mike's, I want to say he put Mike. I think you put some of your pictures on IG when you tore down your engine before you sent the block off. Yeah, his internals looked extremely clean, um, and I expect somewhat of mine to be clean, but I don't think it's going to be without damage. I think there's some damage in there. It's just how much of it there is. But we're gonna find, like I said, we're gonna find out when we tear the engine apart. All right, Marco, thanks, buddy, for chiming in. Thanks for asking questions, keeping the chat rolling, and most of all, thanks for the support. I know Bruce has probably been long gone by now, but I appreciate y'all's support 100%. Yeah, Mike, I think that's kind of what I'm expecting. Things will be clean, but like I said, and we've talked a little bit. There's got to be something going on at the end, and nothing major because it's doing its thing and it's running. But I'm sure there's some kind of damage in there. It's just we'll figure it out when we tear it apart. Yeah. All right, Marco. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time, buddy. All right. There's Mike throwing numbers at us. So there you go. There's the numbers. There you go, 803. I'm telling you, I've said this 1,000, at least a couple hundred times. Plan, plan, plan. Goal, plan for the goal, budget for the plan. Revolt, it is a little expensive. Um, yeah, Revolt, you got few more miles than me. I mean, I didn't pro charge my car until I had 80, Mike, I can't remember. There was like a little over 80,000 miles on the car when we put the Pro Charger on. Um, I would argue Mike's going to tell you it's the better move because there's no replacement for displacement. Swapping in a 6.4, nothing wrong with that. 100% nothing wrong with that. Because you can look what wide body Mike's doing with his 6.4, and he's on stock heads for now, and drop ins from MMX. You can make incredible power with the 6.4, 100%. With 180,000 miles, I would probably lean towards swapping to a 6.4. Yeah, I would lean towards swapping to a 6.4. Yeah, watch Black Friday. Mike's got a great point. There are lots and lots and lots of sales on Black Friday on car parts as well. So there's a lot of them out there. So again, look at your plan, look at your budget. You may be able to save yourself a little money on Black Friday. Would it work with a 5.7 harness? All right, there you go. Wide body Mike, man. I always when I'm real iffy on a question, I try and look below, and usually Mike has the answer down there. So if it's a VVT 5.7, then it sounds like it'll work. There's Mike. Mike does a lot of shop. If you don't know, Mike does a lot of shopping. He knows when the sales are. He knows who's holding the sales, and probably almost tell you what's going on sale before it goes on sale. That's how much shopping he does. But yeah, nothing wrong with waiting till a Black Friday to pick things up, save a little money. That way you can that money you saved you can put some towards something maybe a little better than you planned on buying to begin with, or a little bigger in the event, depending on what your plan is. So bigger injectors, better cam, whatever case may be, you can save yourself a little money and maybe pick up another modification just by saving a few bucks. Revolt J's giving giving you some good advice. I think I said this a while back. If I was to do it all over again, I probably would have went pro charged first, and then followed on with all of the bolt-ons and the cam and everything after that. Would have saved me a bunch of money because I think I'm going to go with another cam as well, and it may very well be MMX max blower cam. 803, that's not a bad idea either, right? Buy the stroker kit, not a bad idea. All right, Jay, throwing down some knowledge. He's got a 5.7 harness on his 6.4. I said it a second ago. Mike laid it out. 392 and do drop ins. Boom, you're good to go. Oh gosh, let's not watch this one. This one's bad too. We do a lot of things. We do a lot of things wrong in that video. So I'm gonna take that one off. Some of these old videos before Don had any smarts, and uh, one, before Don had any smarts. Two, before I had the group of guys that I have now. I made a lot of mistakes before I met Mike and Jay and Ant and the crew. I made many a mistake and paid handsomely for those mistakes. Mistakes I won't make again. That's for sure. Mike giving you some knowledge. Hey, while you got the 5.7 running, keep the car running. build the next motor, whichever way you go. Build the next motor on a stand, and then all you got to do is swap it out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yikes. Jay, there he's throwing down some knowledge. Golly, this thing jumps sometimes. There you go, Revolt. That's the best case scenario, right? You got your car, it's running, you're having fun with your car. All in the meantime, you're building your engine. That's what I did most of last year. I was literally running, shake and bake to death, and building my engine in the background. Definitely the best way to do it. Jay, building another engine. Jay, you need to finish what you're doing right now before you think about moving on to something else. You gotta get that car on the road, brother. Uh, Stick or automatic, it's expensive either way, Jay. You know the deal as well as I do. It's expensive either way. Yeah, Hugh. Yeah, yeah. I think I talked that subject to death. If you're gonna open up the engine, just plan to do it all at once. You don't want to have to take the engine apart several times. I've done it. I paid for it. It's not fun. So just do it all at once. All right. All right, Doomfist with the fist pump. Love it. Thanks, brother. So corpse, the number I got was 580, 610 torque, 150 shot. Okay. 620 wheel, 650 torque, 200 shot. Nice. Trans was simply hard on the 200 shot, so I don't plan on running the 200. More likely running 175 shot to save the trans. Yeah, that's the problem. You're right at 650 torque. You're at that point where the HP 70 starts slipping. I was at just under 600 and didn't have a problem with mine. But I know wide body Mark. He was at that 650 torque at one time, and that's where it starts slipping. Yeah, Jay, you can't go wrong on corn, brother. If you have E85 in your area and you're boost specifically, if you're boosted, you can't go wrong going E85. You can't go wrong. Mike shoving can corn. Now we're not above having a little copper in the backyard, so no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Though, don't get me wrong. I've thought about making some of my own E85. Just don't have the room for it here. Corn for the win, you know it. 803. All of us are supporting the farmers, probably nationwide. We've all been running a lot of corn through all of our cars. Hey, Mike, save your 1650s. I may need some Helby parts because I know my injectors are running at about 80 to 85% right now. So I'm pretty well maxed out on the 1050s right now. And then if we do turn up the boost with the forged engine. I think 1650s is going to be my sweet spot. Yep, Mike. That's where and Jay, I have one as well. And best pump E is 78 to 80. I don't remember ever hitting 81. It's always been, even in the winter, it's been 75 to 80, and that's getting it at the Fort Meade. I forget what it's called. Out there on 198, out there by Fort Meade. Even in the winter, there seems to be a higher content. Mike's moving to 117. Yikes! Race scoring for a thirsty LB. Yep, yeah, Jay, we both have a full return. Your 1500s are at 10% duty cycle. Ooh, my 1050s are at 80% right now. LB's an alcoholic, 100%. He's drinking a lot of corn. Holly has a calculator for injectors, sure does. Yes, pictures of Mike's build on his IG. So if y'all want to know about Mike's car, check out his IG. He's got a 392 monster, and he is upgrading the roll cage because he keeps going faster. You got to have more safety. All right, 803. Yes, sir. Let's see. We got about 5 minutes here. I got to speed things up. Uh, Jay, you're right. He is Mr. He is Mr. Google or the link master. Literally, you talk about a part, Mike will throw Mike will throw a link up there within seconds. Yeah, Mike. Even when I leave Shake and Bake with Mike, it's hard to leave her alone. Yeah, he like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, obviously there can't be anything major wrong, but it's gonna be fun to see. Because Hugh, you know the deal, man. I beat on Shake and Bake pretty much every weekend or every chance I get. Yeah, Mike, I'm gonna have to hit you up for some of that safety equipment for sure. I gotta start upgrading my stuff as well. I've been a little lax in the safety department, and I shouldn't be. Everybody's asking for those links now. Hayes, have I looked into FRP camshafts? I have not. I have not heard of that. Uh, if you can, Hayes, if you can hit me up on IG, hopefully you have IG. Hit me up on IG. Send me the link. I'd love to take a look at them. And Jay's got a point. MMX and HHP have been in the game for a long time. But I'd still be interested in taking a look at the link. Christmas and car parts got you working like a mofo. I know how it is. 100%. We're down to about 3 minutes here. Let me see if I can get to the bottom of the chat. All right, sounds good. Uh, Hayes is 45 minutes from MX. Not bad. And that's true. I'm with you, Hayes. They're a great shop, but there are also a lot of cam makers out there. So FRP is flying Ryan. Gotcha. Interesting, Hayes. Yeah, I'll have to look into them. Mike. All right, but thanks, buddy. Yeah, Texas Speed. They got some good cams as well. There's a lot of good cam makers out there, and most of them use comp cams anyway. So, oh, gotcha, Mike. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'll have to go. I have to probably go buy some new ones. Gotcha. Can't speak on the build yet. Another home built performance to hit the streets. All right, let's go. All right, talking back and forth. Yep, E80. Yeah, if you do E85, shorten your interval between oil changes 100%. Jay, that's what I run. Dual 525s. All right, always angry. What's going on, buddy? Glad you made it in the last few minutes. I'm gonna have to pop off here in a few. Mm. Like I said, 803. I got 1050X injectors, and I'm at 85% right now. So 80 to 85%. So depending on what your goal is and how much boost you're gonna run, you may definitely gonna have to upgrade the pump. I would recommend at least a dual pump setup, if not the triple pump. And the triple pump's only a couple $100 more than the dual pump. If I actually would have known that or thought about it or researched it, I probably would have went triple pump from the beginning. But the 1000 cc's, I'm not sure how far that's gonna get you. All right, thanks, Chuck. Have a great night, buddy. All in for 2K. 2K is not bad for a cam kit. Yeah, Mike does change his oil quite a bit. That's for sure. All right, thanks, Hayes. I appreciate it. We're right at 10 o'clock, and I think I hit everyone's chat. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, I appreciate everyone's support, supporting the channel, watching the videos. I know those ads are painful. Matter of fact, they're so painful. I have a YouTube Prime subscription, so I don't have to watch or skip the commercials. Um, but yeah, take care, Hayes. I appreciate it, buddy. Set this video on demand so I can watch and catch. I have to figure out how to do that, man. Yeah, Mike's car is a roller, no engine. He's getting the cage put in, so his car is going to be interesting. We'll do a huge video on his car next year when it's all said and done. It's all set up. But again, I appreciate we're all rollers other than Stark and me, right? Well, you got Chip and Allen. They're still running, but they're stock. So, but it is what it is. But hey, I appreciate everyone tuning in the channel, tuning into the into the chat, keeping things rolling. I appreciate it. And like I said, Shake and Bake definitely appreciates it because everything goes right back into her. Had a great time tonight, folks. As always, I appreciate everyone chiming in. And that's it for this one. We'll catch you next week, folks. Adios.